our next guest runs a company that could be described as the Netflix of socks. Samy Liechti is the founder and president of blacksocks.com. It's an e-commerce site that he launched in 1999. Samy, we're glad to welcome you to InsideTrack. Thanks for coming in. You have 50,000 customers, 75 countries. What gave you the idea to base your business on socks?
Long story short, after graduating from business school, I worked as a business consultant, and I was invited to a meeting with Japanese customer afterwards to a tea ceremony, and there I had to take off my shoes. What happened there, that people could tell that the two socks I was wearing didn't have the same family background, and they were not in the same life stage. One was grayish, just a little hole, and this was quite embarrassing for me, so I was thinking about socks, and all of a sudden I said, well, there should be a service that brings socks to men and not the other way around, and that's how we invented the sockscription service, which we launched in '99.
And I mean, you even have a calendar on your website. You say people can save 20 days of their lives by using your service?
Right. People care all the time about socks. I should buy some. They have to put them together after washing, but if you only have one style, you can forget about this. So you save at least 12 hours a year, and over the years it's up to 3 weeks of more spare time you have, and you can invest it in more interesting things than socks.
Well, 11 years in the e-commerce business. What is the biggest change you've seen? I mean, 1999, you were basically there from the beginning.
Well, 11 years ago, nobody was internet savvy. At that time in our home market, about 10% used the internet on a regular basis, and out of this 10%, another 10% did transactions. And then little by little, everybody became more internet savvy, especially people which are more than 50 years old. They now also know to use the internet, and at the beginning we had to bring people online. Now if they're online, we have to bring them to our website, so it's much easier now.
The startup costs have gotten cheaper as well to start an online business, is that right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, you've been able to do it all through private funding, but what is the biggest challenge now? I mean, the internet space is extremely mature,
yeah.
So what do you have to do as a follow-up?
I think the most difficult thing is to attract customers, because there's so many things around. There's so many websites. Every day people launch new websites, new e-commerce websites. So to bring people to the website and convince them to buy the product, that's very important. But an advantage of blacksocks.com is that we have a certain heritage, so people know us. We were able to build a brand, and this gives us...
Yeah, you have some high-profile members. Paul Wolfowitz, I understand, was visiting a mosque in Turkey and had his toes peeping through?
Right, and so there were, it was in all the media, and all of a sudden a US customer called me and said, we have to do something. I said, well, whenever I have the private address of Wolfowitz, I'm going to offer him a subscription, and that's what we did. And then we got at that time on the World Bank paper, we got a personal letter signed by Wolfowitz where he thanked for the black socks.
Samy, we don't have a ton of time left, but are you seeing any slowdown? We know businesses are cutting back on travel, people are getting fired. I mean, you're dealing with a luxury business. Do you see your slowdown in subscriptions at all?
Well, probably have the most easiest interface between men and socks they need all the time, so they continue with their subscription, and therefore I'm not afraid of what's going on right now.
Samy, thanks for coming in to see us.
Thank you very much.
Samy Liechti, the CEO and founder of blacksocks.com.